Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. Today we have a very special tarot card reading, and this is for Stacy. And this is a multi-part reading, so we'll probably just kind of run with it and see what happens. Now, because of Mercury retrograde, communication lately has been a little bit woo-woo-y. So I've actually kind of put off doing readings for a little bit, for the most part, but I just thought it'd be kind of nice tonight to do one. So we're gonna put together this one for Stacy and see what the cards have to say. But just please keep in mind that it is Mercury retrograde, so we are having like communication issues and just things in general. Yeah. All right, so what Stacy would like to know to kind of get us started is she's kind of vacillating or thinking about maybe moving in with have like a certain roommate situation. She wants to find out if that would be a good idea or not. If maybe her and her daughter moved in, or maybe the other person moved into her living space. And just kind of get some perspective on it and that type of thing. So that's going to be the first reading that we're going to do. All right, so the first card that we have is the Four of it's this card here, the Four of Pentacles, Four of Coins. So this is kind of about like trying to like hold on to money, you know, kind of like it's kind of that miserly energy of kind of like just, you know, like where you're afraid to kind of let go of things, that kind of bit. So that's something to consider with this reading, and we'll talk about it in a minute. The next one is the Ten of Swords. This is kind of like where we have quite a bit of conflict going on, but it's like kind of toward the end of everything. So we'll start to see some closure on some things. Talk more about that in a minute. And then the last one we got is the Eight of Cups for this one. So the Eight of Cups is kind of like walking away from everything, going off in a different direction. All right, so I don't like just my kind of my feeling on this, or my intuition on this, is more about yeah, I don't know. It's like it's sort of like one of choices, because there's like a double outcome on this. There's kind of like a dual way of looking at this. So let me just go ahead and present what I'm getting, and then I'll just let you make your choice. And there's, you know, it will really kind of depend on what type of an outcome here you're kind of looking for. So let's just look at things like in terms of the first scenario. So let's just say, assumably, that you move in with a roommate. So if you move in with a roommate, that's going to take you in a different direction. You'll be more focused probably on monetary things, trying to save up money, get ahead, kind of restart things and everything. That's what I'm picking up for this type of an outcome. The downside, or the you know, because we have pros and cons here, kind of the con in all of this would be that probably the things that you've been working mentally towards, as far as like being with this guy and, you know, taking your life in some other kind of a direction and stuff like that, and having like a newer start with someone else in your life, that's going to be put on hold. So it's going to like kind of leave your life, you know, if you make this roommate move kind of situation. Your attention will be distracted, you'll be moved in a different direction, and you'll kind of let this chapter kind of, you know, slip away, and, you know, kind of move out into the periphery until finally it's the great void, and it will be as though it just, you know, at some point in time you would get to a place where it was just kind of like a passing thought that just occasionally would happen, and you'll in the end think to yourself, okay, well, I'm just glad that I did this, and I'm, you know, who cares about that guy anyway. It would be that kind of a thinking, that kind of an energy. So that's one scenario. If you decide not to move in with the roommate situation, or have this person move in with you and go it alone, I'm picking up that probably this guy will come into your life more sooner rather than later. Probably still not going to be right away, immediately, as far as immediacy goes or anything. But the bond or the relationship or the connection that you have with this person, your focus will be more on that. And in time, that's where things will lead into. And so the possibility for that is still very much, you know, alive. So it's sort of one of choice. That's what I'm trying to say here. And what would eventually happen is that you guys would get together and move in. You'd have a few hiccups along the road just right off the bat, like maybe two or three little disagreements that would happen probably within the first month or two of him moving in with you, or you moving in with him, one way or the other. And you would have a little bit of regret that you moved into that direction, or you decided to go in that direction and all. But that regret would quickly leave you after that month was over or so, like that month and a half was done. And then things would start to radically turn around. That the relationship would continue to improve and continue to improve and continue to improve. And then, you know, at some point, instead of it being an afterthought, at some point you would think to yourself, you know, how did I ever, you know, get on without this person in my life? So those are kind of the two things. Now, if you pick option number one and you go into this direction that way, uh, it's not to say that at some point later on down the road that your attention wouldn't shift back onto like relationships and things like that. You might meet someone nice and have a good relationship in that direction also. That would be much further down the line than this other. So, you know, as far as this reading goes, that's kind of what I'm picking up. The probability, you know, as far as futuristic probability in terms of like the most likely outcome is probably the first option. You'd probably move in with her, she would move in with you. And it would be nice because it'd be like there's some camaraderie there, there's some friendship there, there's some connection. And that's really what you're looking for right now. So because of that, that's what would be the most primary thing. Um, so there's that to consider. But you have put in a lot of work, a lot of energy, and a lot of effort into the relationship with this person already, this guy. So it was just really going to be up to you on that one. Let us shift gears now. So now we had that. So I was expecting that to really just more or less answer one, but that actually kind of answered two things for us. Let us look, though, a little bit more deeply at this relationship with this guy. Let's do another reading just for that. Kind of find out, you know, is he serious? Is he just, you know, pulling your chain, jerking you around? You know, that kind of thing. Let's find out, like, really, you know, where things are at with him. Oh, this is really fascinating. So the very first card that we have is the same card that we had in the last reading. It's wild. So this is the Eight of Cups. It's like, you know, shifting or kind of moving away from things, you know. and we see cups as multiple cups there, multiple kind of things. 8's also about materialism and stuff, so shifting away from the material, going in a different direction. In this case, it's the direction toward the relationship. So this is him moving in the direction of where you're at, and more making that commitment. Before, it's been more about the money and the finances and those kind of considerations. But, he's getting himself to a place now where he's feeling more and more comfortable leaving his past behind or his life behind, and then just moving in the direction more toward where you're at with everything. So the next card is the Knight of Swords, and you can see that. This is the dashing knight moving in a direction swiftly. A lot of thoughts, a lot of fast-moving thoughts. One minute you're thinking this, one minute you're thinking that, one minute you're here, one minute you're there. That's probably why you guys haven't really connected too much within the last couple of weeks. It's because of where his mind is. He's all over the place, There's so much of him that wants so many different things that he can't really pinpoint things down and just, map things out strategically. And for that reason, it's more recommended that for that reason, it's more recommended that you do give him a little bit of space to kind of figure things out. But you might also, like when you talk to him, help him, but do it in a very almost like a, what do you call it? Like we're consultative type of way, where you're asking questions, getting him to come to some conclusions and different things to kind of find out what he really wants. And that, by the way, is what I'm really picking up would not be a bad idea for you. If you just have a conversation and then you start asking him some questions, but you do it in a very subtle way, like start off with just questions, surface questions, things where you're not going too deep into conversation or treading along ground that might be uncomfortable to talk about, where maybe there's not enough trust built at that level yet. Instead of doing that, just talk more about surface things and then just say, oh, how's everything going? And oh, really? So, oh, what have you been up to lately and stuff, Oh, really? Are you enjoying that? Just kind of asking those types of questions and let him kind of delve into the conversation. What will typically happen if you do that, and what I'm kind of picking up would be more, is things will circle back more around to like his longer term plans eventually. It might take a conversation or two, but eventually you'll get back to where his mind is at as far as moving forward and stuff, So you can communicate with him on that. I wouldn't put any pressure or influence the situation, but just kind of find out really what's in his heart and stuff. I think what you'll find is that he's going to be like more open and just saying, hey, I really want to do this. I really want to kind of do that, but just I've been so focused on trying to get my affairs in order and stuff and I didn't want to be a problem to your situation that now I have to kind of. So now I know it's been a minute, but I do, he'd probably say, I do care about you and I do want to have a relationship with you, and I just, I've just been a mess, and I don't even know where to begin at. And then you guys can kind of talk through that and kind of work it out. The last card that we have is the Empress. Okay, this is really good. This is nurturing and stuff like that. So this is that real nurturing energy and stuff, motherly kind of energy. Sometimes when this card comes up, it's about pregnancy, but more in this, it's about kind of impregnating ideas. And I'm really picking up that, when he sees the possibility and he sees the opportunity and he can kind of rationalize it and structure it in his mind, how it might work and how it might really work to his favor, work to your favor, and everyone's benefit. I think then, from a logical perspective, this card kind of comes up for that he will more nurture the idea and then be ready to make more of a commitment. All right, so that's that one. I'm trying to think here. So we've got that, and I'm getting some perspective on things. Give me just 1 second. I gotta check my messages because I have some service projects and somebody might be okay. Well, I do have a little bit more time, so we'll go ahead with the very last one. So the last reading that we have for this is Stacy is wanting to maybe, possibly, go see some of her family, and they live in a different state. And her mother's, offered to get an airline ticket and different things, but she's just not really necessarily feeling it. At least that's what I'm kind of picking up, is she's really not feeling the trip. We've got mask mandates, we've got, her child would be involved, doesn't really want to wear a mask, that kind of thing. And just, it's like, it might be more of a headache than what it's really worth, is what I'm kind of picking up. So it may be better just to kind of stay put for now. And, you could always do like a different kind of vacation, at some other point, where there's more of a connection with the family and stuff. And I get that, families, especially around the holidays, there's that energy and stuff. I'm not saying that, don't capitalize on the times that you have to spend time with your family and everything, but at the same time, I'm just kind of picking up that the timing just may not be exactly right for everyone involved. But let's see what the cards have to say. Yeah. So the first card that we have here is this, just like we had before in that other reading. See, the cards really are very, probabilistically speaking, this card would not come up again. But because it's related directly to Stacy and her situation, it comes right up. Just like we had in the last reading, that other card had come up. So this here, we look at it, it's about kind of holding on to what we've got, holding on to the money, So this is sometimes called the miser card. It's like we're just afraid to let go of our resources. We want to feel safe, and the way to feel safe is to kind of hold on to what we got instead of just letting it go. So sometimes in life we are in these kind of situations. Other times we're just flush with money and flush with cash and material things and stuff, and our generous nature just shines and we give everything away. And there's times where we don't want to have anything. We just let everything go. And attachments are like, we don't need them at all. But sometimes people get to a situation where they may feel like, hey, I just need to I'll just feel safer if I kind of hold on to a couple of things. It's kind of like that security blanket feeling that a child feels. They need something like a stuffed animal or a toy or a favorite blanket or something like that, just to kind of feel safe. And that's kind of what this card is really all about. It's kind of that, just trying to get yourself in a situation feeling safe. So it's that nurturing this thing, not going too crazy with the money, not jumping. So it's kind of that more being conservative with the timing and stuff. So that's what I'm kind of picking up. So just kind of in alignment with what I was just saying, it's like maybe it's not the best time to go, it's not the most secure time for that. And then next we have the Five of Pentacles. So we just had the Four of Pentacles. Now the Five of Pentacles, we see us kind of add on our luck a little bit. So it's kind of like, if you go, it's not going to be like as fun a trip as possible. This is kind of one of those things where, yeah, we're just a little down and out. It's not exactly our desired way of doing things. This good card here is also about just kind of like, it's a reminder to say, hey, look, you've been in good situations before. You've been in bad situations before. You might find yourself a little down and out now, but you know how to get yourself back up because you've already done it. You just have to go back, retrace your steps, and get yourself back on track again. And so that's kind of what this is. That's almost like a reminder in this particular instance. Five's about change and movement and stuff. It's almost kind of like saying, it's time to just, kind of refocus, look at where we got to, how we got to where we're at, and then just kind of retrace our steps in order to follow that progression of success and everything that got us to where we're at here. Lastly, we have the Emperor. Okay. He's a very strong figure in the tarot. Major Arcana. Paternalistic energy. Almost like a father type energy. This fellow. He brings security. He brings law and order, rules and regulations, and, says, hey, let's not jump the gun here. Right now, So, I mean, if you look at the cards in terms of yes or no, it's a no. So, just like I was saying before, the cards kind of reinforce what I was saying. It's just, now is probably not the best time to be going anywhere and doing anything like that. Money would be better spent elsewhere. Resources would better be held on to and stuff like that. And then, things can happen in their own right, in their own way. I'm picking good things up, though. Like, I'm picking up some real positive energy around you right now. And I think that I see good outcomes coming. I just see that, right now, we don't want to go. We just want to be kind of careful, like with the decisions. Right now, it's not really too much of a time to make too many changes in our life. It's really kind of right now is the time to kind of sit on things and to kind of just nurse things along for a little bit. Now, all of this being said, Stace, I'm, with Mercury retrograde and everything going on, and communication and things kind of not totally precise and stuff, you could take this reading with some heart and everything like that. I think you can kind of intuit what I'm getting and all, but at the same time, I would say we probably better ought to just, as far as this reading goes, we can kind of run with everything here, but maybe at some point, like we get past the 18th, 19th, toward the end of the month, we could maybe do another reading or something like that, and then get a little bit more insight and clarity on things. So I've been a little hesitant as of late to do a lot of readings, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't done a lot. Is primarily for that reason. I've got kind of a backlog of readings to do for people, but I just haven't, I haven't really taken the conscious choice or the conscious decision to really do them. And it's not really because I don't want to do them. It's more just because I want to make sure that what I'm telling people is as accurate as possible, and I'm not, giving anybody like misinformation or anything like that. So I want to feel 100% conviction in it. As far as this reading goes, I feel 90% convicted in all the information, everything that I just shared with you. So I think that you could kind of more or less kind of run with it, but just be on the safe side, or if you want to just do maybe like some follow-up here kind of in, a couple of weeks or something, we could maybe do something like that just to see kind of where we're at with everything. And I think that would be useful. So, yeah, just hit me up and we can do that. If you have any questions, though, of course, please reach out to me. I'll tell you whatever I get. And anybody watching that wants to help out or, help the channel, help us out, it's little things like, just, I can't even get into it. But anyway, I won't even get into it on this channel tonight. But if you want to help out, that would be great. You just go to helpbydonating.com. And if it's in your heart and you feel that, please give a donation. It would be wonderful. As far as everything else goes, guys, I haven't really been doing a whole lot. I've been doing quite a bit of service work, and so it's taken me in that direction. But I will say that Mercury retrograde really has had an effect on things communication-wise here lately. I've had a couple of little snags, little problems here and there, whether it's, well, even tonight trying to log into YouTube to do this reading. There was some glitches and different things that I ran into. So it's just what it is. So like I said, we'll just kind of go with the flow for now and let us get past this little bit of time, and then I think things will be really good and we'll get back on track. So just like with Mercury retrograde, it's kind of like we have to put a pause on things a little bit sometimes. That's what I'm kind of saying, Stace, is we just have to kind of hang tight, is kind of the best way of putting it. But yeah, please reach out to me if you need anything. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream now because there's really nothing more to be said. If you guys need any spiritual direction or help or anything like that, you're more than welcome to reach out. The telephone number should be in the description below this video. If it's not in the description below this video, check any of the more recent videos and you'll find it down there. There's my email address and everything as well that you can check out. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone is having a great October, and it's Friday, so hopefully all of you guys are doing great, enjoy getting ready for the weekend, Maybe some of you guys have some nice plans, and if you do, just you'd like to share, just go ahead and put them in the description below this video, in the comment section. Love to kind of connect with you guys. Anyways, much love, many blessings. See you guys soon.